Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all. So I might be the shortest person in this room. That's why I have to stay on this stage. But also because I don't know if y'all knew, but we're actually streaming this out to the world. So for those reasons, I need to make sure I stay kind of in this vicinity, which I'm really not used to. If anyone knows me, I like to move around. But if you see me way in the back, just whisper and say, hey, Nozomi, get back to the stage. Okay, anyhow, thank you for being here. I know it's a rainy day, and well, at least it's not a Friday, but it's definitely a rainy day, so I'm so grateful that you're here today. As Adrienne said, my name is Nozomi Morgan. I'm the CEO of Michiki Morgan Worldwide. We are an intercultural leadership development firm based here in Atlanta, and also we have offices around the world, but primarily in Atlanta and Tokyo. And I wanted to share a little bit with you how this Japan, Georgia, and by the way, I don't know if you heard us call it JaGa, and I heard some of you laugh, which means you understand what that means, right? So what does JaGa mean in Japanese? Potato, exactly. So, which has nothing to do with Georgia and Japan necessarily, but we thought that was kind of funny. So the JaGa Future Forums. So it was actually birthed from my experience in 2022. So I wanted to share a little bit about that experience. So I've been living in Georgia since 2010, and the company, Michiki Morgan Worldwide, actually started in 2012 here in Atlanta. And I've been attending a conference that's been held every year with the business sector and the government, so private and public sector leaders that gather once a year from the 8 states in the Southeast region. It happens every year. One year it happens here in the US, and one year it happens in Japan. And I've been going for years. It's an amazing opportunity to hear from all these leaders, presentations, panels. And in 2022, I realized there's something missing about that. And I was thinking, what is it that's missing? And what was missing was actually the human connection. We're all just looking at the front, listening to presentations. When you say network, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, especially if you've been to Japan, you have the business cards, you exchange, and then you don't really talk, right? You just say, oh, okay. And then the person's, you can tell they're already looking for the next person that they want to talk to. Yeah? I see faces laughing here, so it's little smiles. So you don't really have a real connection with a person. It's a little superficial. Not meaning that's bad or anything, but I always felt something was missing. And that's when I came up with the idea, sitting on actually the couch outside of the big ballroom and thinking, you know what? I want to create something different. I want to create something that actually connects the future generation of Japanese and Americans, especially Georgians, people who live here in Georgia. And that's how this idea of Japan, Georgia Future Forums was birthed. And I have amazing people surrounded me with the Japan American Society of Georgia. As Adrienne mentioned, I'm on the board and I am the co-chair of the program committee. So thanks to the amazing board members, team members, this JaGa Forum, Future Forum started last year at Georgia Tech. So this is the second year, and the reason why last year was so significant because we were celebrating the 50th anniversary between this friendship between Georgia and Japan last year. So thank you for being here today. It really means so much to me personally because this really came out of that, I would say frustration, but that missing piece, and it just, just seeing you all here just means so much to me, so thank you, truly. So This session, as you can hopefully already tell, and it says in the title, it's going to be interactive. So it's not the type that you get to just sit back and take notes. Okay, I'm going to make you get up and move. So don't get too comfortable where you are. I want you to be comfortable, but don't get too comfortable where you are. And then, one of the things that's amazing about this forum is that we have students, we have companies, we have representatives from the community, and there's so much, I like to call it, in my world, we call this, you have special gifts, you have strengths, you have your unique ability here. And there's so much wisdom in this room. So when I was designing this session, my intention, it was and is to really activate that collective wisdom that's in this room and create a meaningful connection. Does that sound good? Yep. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, if it sounds good, if you just want to raise your hand, if you're good with that. Okay. So the people that didn't raise your hand, I'm not so sure what to do with you, but there was enough hands, I think, to say that we can continue on. Would you agree? Yes? Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well then, I want you to just kind of get ready. So we're going to start with a question. So questions are very powerful, right? Depending on the question you ask, it changes the direction you head. Right? Questions are really powerful. So I want to start with a question that might seem almost too obvious, too simple, too basic, but from my experience being a little bit older than a lot of people in this room, sometimes those most obvious simple questions or simple things, there's a lot of power in it. So I want you to take out a pen or pencil, or if you're more of a digital person, you might have like an Apple pen. Take out a pen or pencil and then find something you can write on. So if you have a notebook, piece of paper, it could be a receipt. For some of you, you might be complete digital and you might say it's just my phone. That's okay too. I prefer being a little old school. There's actually neuroscience behind this, that if you use a pen or pencil and write, there's a different magic that comes. So if you have that choice, please find that, okay? And then I am going to ask you this question that is really designed to connect you with each other, connect you with yourself, and also connecting you with the purpose of this whole forum. Because I know some of you are here because you wanted to connect with the companies next door, which I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being there, all of you. It was so hard to get you back in here, so I know you're having a good time. And I know some of you want to connect with maybe old friends or people that you know from before. And some of you are here probably because you want to learn something new. So this question is going to be something that will help you with that. And it's going to be a lot of fun, trust me. So I want you to think about this question. Not that question, sorry. This question. Why is it important for you to be here today? Why is it important for you to be here today? I know you're very busy. I know you have a lot of things on your agenda. Why is it important for you to be here today? And then I welcome and invite you to think about something even beyond yourself. You might want to think from the perspective of, why is it important for others? When I say others, it could be your classmates, your peers, your team members. It could be your family. It could be your community. Right? It could be your team. It could be your colleagues. And then I also invite you to think even beyond that. Something maybe you've never thought about before. Why is it important to be here today for the world? I'm going to step back and be quiet for about 30 seconds and allow you to think about this question. Don't edit yourself. There's no right or wrong answer to any of this. Okay. been writing or done. And I know it's not a lot of time. No worries whatsoever. You'll have time to actually talk about this with someone else. So whatever you have written down is perfect. So what we're going to do, like I said, this is going to be interactive. So the first thing I want you to do, or I'll share with you the instructions, is that you're going to find your pair. So we're going to be in a group of 2. Find someone. It could be someone who's sitting next to you, behind you. I would really encourage you to find someone you've never talked to before, right? Someone you haven't met just yet. Find someone. And then each of you will share what you just wrote or what has come up. Okay, like I said, if you haven't had enough time to write it down, no worries. This is not a test, so whatever comes is perfectly okay. And I want each of you the first person, about a minute, right? So not your life story, okay? Just a minute. And then the next person will go, and we'll do the same thing, okay? A minute each. What I'd like you to do, of course, some people might be a little bit long-winded, and sometimes it takes a little time to wrap things up. So in total, I would like to give you 3 minutes to do this exercise. So if you have a little time left, you can share maybe commonalities or something that you noticed among yourselves. Okay, that makes sense? Yeah? Okay, so one thing I do want to ask you is that let's please respect each other, right? So please make sure it is 1 minute each, and there's not one person talking for 3 minutes, right? Please respect each other, because I want to make sure you both have the opportunity to share your voice. Okay. So step 1, find your pair. So it's 2 people together, and then once you find someone, it'll 1 minute each. Make sense? When I say 1, 2, 3, go, that means you're going to go. Okay? Everyone okay? Yes? Yes, yes? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
I wish it had been longer. No.
Got about a minute left. 10 more seconds. Yes? Good? Okay. I would love to invite 1 or 2, maybe 3 people to share maybe what came up, if there's any commonalities or anything you noticed. Anyone? Actually, we have 2 mic runners. So we have Lindsay on the right-hand side and Chris on the left-hand side. They have the ultimate power choosing who goes. I'm just here, guiding you all. So who would be open to sharing something that came up? Yeah.
My name is Ashley, and this is Max. In our conversation, we discovered that we are both former military, and we are both very interested in Japanese East Asian studies. Both have kind of different eyes on the education field. You would like to teach and inspire more students to seek opportunities abroad. And I work in puppetry and would like to make a language learning program that kind of bridges the gap between this is scary to learn a new language, but we can make it fun. And that's what we learn about each other.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you. And big applause for being a courageous one to go first. Thank you so much. Was it Max?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you want to add to that?
No.
No. Okay.
She did a great job.
She did a great job. Okay, I trust you. Okay, over here. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Midori.
Hi, Midori.
I want to know American business person, and I want to talk to they. I talked to woman who come to America from Japan.
頑張れ。
She can speak a little bit in Japanese and you can translate.
Yeah, sure. What else do you want to say?
日本からアメリカに大学卒業した後に来たっていう方のお話を聞いて、私はあんまり のまま日本の大学卒業したら日本の企業に就くみたいな風に考えてたので、こうそこからなんていうんだろう、アメリカに挑戦しに行ってそこで実際にもう何十年も働いてるっていうお話を聞けてすごくいい経験になって、私もなんかそれを聞いていろんなことに挑戦したいなと思いました。
Good. So I'll do my. I'm not a good translator, so please forgive me. Mito-san, I'm so sorry if I butcher it. But she was saying that she was able to meet a Japanese woman who graduated college in Japan and then came to the States and then built a career. And for you, you never thought about that before, but you're very inspired by that, right? Did I get it right? はい、頑張りました。頑張りました。So great. So I really admire your courage. So give a big applause to Mito-san. Yeah.
I need to add a couple of words.
Sure.
Okay, I need to add a couple of words. She's a very sweet person. Possibly she told me in a summarized form all these, but what I got was she is very open to know others, and also would like others to know about Japanese things. So that's what I gathered from her.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So, isn't that amazing? With that short amount of time, I only gave you 3 minutes. And how often do you get to know someone that you've never met before and learn about things like this? So this is the power of meaningful connections. And you were able to experience it in such a short amount of time. So kudos to all of you. Great job. Great job. So here I want to share a little bit about Georgia and Japan. I took this directly from the georgia.org website. So this is, I didn't do any research, just to let you know, this came directly from that. But I wanted to share, what the amazing relationship that Georgia and Japan has. So Georgia is one of the key players in global trade, as you probably already know this. So when you look at these numbers, so Georgia exports broke a record three straight years and exports about $50 billion. And they have relationships, it ranges from, let me see here, 215 countries. That's absolutely mind-blowing. And then one of Georgia's strongest international partnership is with Japan, as you may already know. And Japan ranks among Georgia's top trading partners, and which the bilateral trading surpasses $9.7 billion. And so really we have, a long-term investment collaboration, but the thing that really blows my mind is that today let me have a slide for this, over 400 Japanese companies are in Georgia. And today, next door, we have representatives of only a few. But imagine there's more than 400. In some studies or papers I see say there's 600. So there's a little discrepancy in those numbers. But if you can just imagine, there's more than 400, 500, 600 Japanese affiliated companies. And what really, how do I say this, strikes my heart is that through these companies, these Japanese affiliated companies, they are employing more than 40,000 people. That's a lot of people. So you can see that relationship between Japan and Georgia, how deep it is and how wide it is. And Japan and Georgia celebrated their 50th year, as I said earlier, last year. And my hope and wish is that, and this is the whole theme of this forum, is that we'll continue and to strengthen that relationship even further. So, and the future that I'm talking about is not just about these policies or trade or these numbers that I shared with you. The truth is, it really comes down to the people. It comes down to you. And you are the next generation leaders. You are the next generation innovators. You are the next generation entrepreneurs. You are the next generation bridge builders. And you very exciting to do that. So I want to pause here. Here in this room, that this was news to them. It was a new information to them. The first time hearing that. Yeah. Oh, good, good, good. Did it surprise you? Yeah? Was it surprising? Cool. Yeah. It was surprising for me too when I first came to Georgia in 2010. I had no idea that Japan and Georgia had a strong relationship. And I talked mainly about, because we're here in Georgia right now, about the Japanese companies here, but there's a lot of Georgia headquartered companies in Japan as well. For example, Coca-Cola, Aflac, UPS. There's amazing companies, Georgia headquartered companies that are flourishing in Japan as well. So truly, it's a relationship that goes back. It's a two-way street. So now I want to take a moment to just pause. So taking in all this information and want to connect you with the future, knowing that you are the future generation. Some of you may not be so much future generation anymore, but you're part of nurturing, supporting the future generation. So I want you to help to connect your own future to the next and really think about, which ties to the title today, what does a global leader look like? What does a global leader that is going to create the future look like? So I have another question for you, so if you can pick up your pen and pencil and get your notebook out ready. This is the next question that I have for you. Imagine it is 10 years from now, and you have become a leader making a global impact. Imagine. Okay. And for some of you, it might help to close your eyes. For me, when someone asks me to imagine, it helps me to close my eyes. So I invite you to do that. It's a safe space. You'll be totally fine. So imagine it is 10 years from now, and you have become a leader making a global impact. The question is, how have you helped to bring people from different cultures together? How have you helped to bring people from different cultures together? And what leadership qualities and personal strengths helped you to make that happen? Okay, there's no right and wrong answers to this. Think freely. 10 years from now, if you can believe it's 2035, anything is possible. Who knows? AI might be something else. Like, it's just absolutely, who knows? But really think about, as the global leader, how are you helping to bring people from different countries, cultures, background, value systems together? It could be between Georgia and Japan. It could be between you and some other country or some other culture. Really think beyond. I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds to think about that and jot that down. And if you feel like you have at least one or two ideas down, if you just want to look up so I know that you're ready. Okay. And if you're not, no worries. Take your time. Have fun with this. Anything is possible. Okay. So we're going to do something a little bit different than last time. The idea is more or less the same, but we're going to do something just a little bit different. I want all of you to stand up. Stand up. Don't go anywhere, just stand up. And then I want you to choose a place in the room. Don't go, just choose with your eyes a place that you want to go. So it could be, don't overthink this. It could be over there, it could be over there, it could be here, anywhere. Just choose a place that your body or your mind, your soul is called to go. Okay? Just choose with your eyes. Don't move. You're really good. typically when I do this at workshops, everyone's already moving, so thank you for being such good listeners. Okay, have you chosen the place you want to go? Okay, good. So what we're going to do this time, last time it was a group of 2. This time it's going to be a group of 3. So we're going to add one more person to this group, okay? So I'm not sure if we have even or odd numbers in this room. So it might be 3. In some groups it might end up being 2. Some groups it might, I want to avoid 4. If it's a 4, try to break in 2, but try to make it 3. Just let's give some energy into this group, okay? So you're going to find a group of 3 people. So to make this easier, wherever you have your heart to go to, right, you got spot, grab the first person that you've met, okay? Don't be like, oh, I want this person, I want that person. The first person that you met when you went to that corner will be your group, okay? Group of 3. And this time, let me check the time. We're on time. Okay, good. We will have a total of 8 minutes. So you'll have this time, each person 2 minutes each. Okay, this is a bigger question. You have 2 minutes each to share. 2 minutes, so 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, makes sense? And then total, roughly 8 minutes as a group. Okay, so this time you have a little bit more time to share. So you might have more time than you need. And if that's the case, again, please share what you might have appreciated, or what maybe something you learned from that person, or maybe there might be common things like you found. So there's plenty of things to talk about. So does that make sense? Yeah? Clear? Raise your hand if it's clear. Yep? Okay. So I'm going to say, like I said earlier, 1, 2, 3, go. When I say go is when you go to the place that in your mind you've chosen. Make sense? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. What connections or what common themes did come out from your conversation? If you want to raise your hand. Oh, yes, thank you. So Chris is going to help you. Can you just share your name so we can all make sure we know who you are?
My name is Josh.
Josh.
One of the biggest ideas that came out of our group was just providing a bridge for different cultures and diving into it to try and demystify and make it not be as afraid of just like unknowns.
That's amazing. I love it. So powerful. Thank you so much, Josh. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. From on this side, yes. Okay, so let's see. Lindsay. Your help.
With the advancement of technology, in particular artificial intelligence, the importance of cultural context.
Yes, absolutely. Not being a one story or one-sided. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Let's see. Let's go to this side. Okay, over here. Chris can help? Yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, my name is Dominic, and this is Raymond and Natalie. And a common thing that came up in our discussion was, as amazing as it is to have that 5-year, 10-year plan, it usually doesn't go towards what you expected it to. So the most important thing to do is to be open to those new experiences, new cultures, and you likely won't end up on the path you thought, but you took action and you had a direction. That's what we came up with.
Yeah. So true. That's so much wisdom just in there. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, let's see from this side. Who else? Yes, please. Well, let's see if there's someone else who hasn't shared yet. We'd love to hear from someone. Yeah, please. Thank you.
So it was great. I had the opportunity to meet Grant and
What's
Enzo.
your name?
Musashi.
Okay,
Ichigo.
Musashi, yes.
So Grant is a student here at KSU and Enzo as well, and they were talking specifics about the interest in the JET program, and I was able to relate to that because I was able to go as a student when I was in college. And Enzo as well was sharing his dream to be able to potentially learn Japanese, and that was their ways of trying to bring cultures together and potentially later in life being able to be a leader in that.
Yeah, wonderful. How how is it to actually meet someone, the leader, like a role model in this group? Go ahead.
I think it's just like an interesting experience, and being able to meet more people just brings more opportunity and different things to learn.
Yes, so true. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, the amazing thing is that one story that I really remember so deeply, which relates to what you shared, is that business, anything, really comes through people, right? And I know the reason why, like for example, the YKKs, they chose Georgia to come is because a relationship that they had, for example, with then Governor Jimmy Carter at the time. So everything that happens for a reason, but also because of the relationships, the connections that you make. So here today, you are, as we started out, right, you came for a purpose. There's a reason why you're here. And you're connected, even with an invisible thread. You're connected with each other. So I really would love to encourage you to not just think like, oh, you know, went to a conference, it was great, like that's it. Please, 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 you know, use this opportunity, what you've learned, the connections that you made. Don't be afraid. I love what you were both said here. Don't be afraid, right? Do it. I know it's kind of intimidating sometimes talking to corporate people, but they're not scary. They're just humans too. They have the same organs inside that you do. They have the same probably size of brain as you do as well. They might have a little more gray hair or a little more wrinkles here and there, but besides that, they're just like you. So know that everything, you know, comes through people. So I really loved what there's so much learning that happened in this here in a short amount of time. Can you believe it was an hour that we were together? You've learned so many things. We started out with purpose. Why are you here? Why did you come here? Why is it important for you? And then I had the opportunity to share with you a little bit about Georgia and Japan, the relationship, and how amazing these two states and countries are, and how deep the relationship is. And I was able to share with you that you are the future, that you have that power in your hands. And then we had the opportunity to do a collective wisdom gathering. What would that look like? What are the traits? What are the strengths of a powerful global leader? So you've done a lot of learning here. So I really wanted to just invite you to pause and just, collect yourself and immerse yourself in those learnings. And as I've already put this out there, I want you to think about maybe a thing that you appreciate, or maybe a person that you appreciate from this session. It could be because they taught you something new. No matter, like you said, Jada, they inspired you, right? Or it could have been just their presence. Maybe it was just a smile. And I want you to think about a person or a thing that you want to appreciate through this experience that we had today. If you want to jot that down, that would be great. And then as we're closing, I would encourage you, especially if that was a person, to go and tell that person how grateful and appreciative you are. But before we officially close, I want to do something a little fun. See if this works. If it doesn't, just erase it from your memory. So, who knows Mentimeter? Yeah? Okay. Yes, Mentimeter. And actually, initially, I wanted to do like a word cloud that you can see in real time. But the truth is, today, because of a little bit of environment, that's a little bit of a challenge. But this is a Mentimeter where we can gather your voice in real time. So if you can pull out your phone and capture that QR code, there's a very, 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 very simple question there. If you can just answer that question right now, I'll be very, very grateful. The question is very simple, and it just basically asks you about your experience today. So, in the line of work that I do, so as I shared with you, my expertise is in intercultural leadership development. There's something that we do that's really important is closing the loop of your learning, right? We don't want to keep it open and then just let you out into the world. We want to make sure you close that learning cycle, and this will help you to close that, to reflect on your experience. So if we just take a few moments, visualize only take you 10, 20 seconds to do that. And as you're doing that, like I said, I want you to think about who you appreciate, what you appreciate from this session. And I'd like to make that as our close today. So thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the session, and please continue this conversation. Please continue the relationships that you've created. Thank you so much.